The San Francisco 49ers are your NFC West champions. That's it. That's the cold open. New Sprint Ride Option podcast now.
Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Ride Option podcast. Oh my goodness, we are live. And still, the 49ers are the NFC West champions. That's all that matters here on a brand new episode of the Sprint Ride Option podcast. I am Andrew Pasquini, wearing my Victory Monday on a Friday hat with the little spinny top. People like to compare it to Banjo Man. He's a little younger than me, but I'm always joined by Jason Aponte, and I'm sure he's going to be fired up as well today. As I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, Jason. The 49ers are your NFC West division champions.
Andrew, there's certain days that you drag yourself out of bed, right? Because you don't want to face the world.
Oh, yeah.
This morning felt like American Dad. Hopping out of the bed. Being able
Morning, USA.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, Avery was up very early this morning. Don't care. Ready to roll. Yep. We're ready to face the world. You know why we're ready to face the world?
Why is that?
We sent Pete Carroll all the way home, at home. You got to love that. I love that for the 49ers. I love that for you. I love that for me. I love that for everyone. I love that for all of us. This is a fun time.
Very fun time.
And we are we're still not 24 hours since the conclusion of that game, so it's still very fresh.
21 hours, roughly.
Correct. This feels like a time where there should be no negative discussion.
No.
It should be pettiness. It should be celebrating. It should be dancing on graves.
I like how Jason's first thing is pettiness before celebration.
Is always first.
Always number one.
Pettiness, always first. Always first. Always first with pettiness, man. 49er fans, if you feel like you've been backed into a corner because of things that have happened, the Seattle Seahawks have inflicted enough pain on us to have that happen on national television, not only to beat the Seattle Seahawks, but to dismantle them.
Yeah.
And that score no way told the story of how far apart this game was, how your team is here and the Seattle Seahawks are down here. That is what you need to be petty about. Here we go.
What up, Javi?
Javi? What's up, buddy?
How you doing?
Fresh out of the Cowboys box seats, man. This guy is everywhere, man. I aspire to be as famous and as lucky as Javier Vega to be able to do things like that.
Unbelievable. Got to watch a Cowboys near loss against the Texans. Jason, 2020.
Now we're cooking.
And Croc is here too.
What?
Oh, man,
my!
Croc's here too.
Eric Crocker,
what a day!
Co-host of the 15th largest sports podcast in the world. Incredible.
That's amazing.
I love to see my friends
15th.
winning.
Unbelievable.
I love to see my friends winning. I love to see my friends in the chat. Shout out to Javi. Shout out to Croc. This is a special time right now, man.
What's up, Croc? What's up, Javi? We love you guys. Hey, Jason, day one people of the Sprint Ride Option podcast will remember when we started it with Javi. Say something positive about the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
This is the piece de la resistance of the say something positive about the 49ers because the vibes are immaculate. The vibes are there. The Niners are NFC West champions. And Jason, hello, Bruce. Thank you for the donation. Are we missing anyone on defense that could make us better for the playoffs when we get to the postseason?
Oh, yes, we are.
Could we defeat Philly in championship?
Yes, we can. There's one more person that is about to have his IR designation lifted.
Ooh.
Javon Kinlaw is waiting in the wings, man.
Javon Kinlaw. That's exciting. So we'll see where that comes.
Appreciate that donation, though, Bruce.
Thank you for the donation, and thank you, Ryan. Ryan, just encouraging Jason. We've been slandering Jason. Let's pop our shit tonight. Encourage him. He doesn't need much encouragement, but we can encourage him. And Jason,
no. Put the battery in my back. Let's cook. It's been a long time. It has been a long time. It's 2011 is the last time the 49ers have swept the Seattle Seahawks.
Yes.
And there was a lot of talk about the Seattle Seahawks and can this get done in Seattle? House of Horrors. I understand 2019, the 49ers made it happen.
Yep.
This feels like exercising demons.
Oh, yeah.
Annoying demons. Because the 49ers sometimes would get rolled, but those don't hurt as much as the almost wins. the really close, like having Richard Sherman detail that fateful play in the NFC Championship with Cam Chancellor. I hated that. I hated that.
Niners legend, though. I hope he goes into Canton as a Niner.
Of course.
That'd be
and,
fun.
I watched the entire pregame show because I love the pregame show and I
Your
love the
pregame
people
show's
that
very
work
good.
there. Tony Gonzalez, Andrew Whitworth, Richard Sherman, Taylor Rooks.
I know
all
where
of
he's.
them.
I know. He only listed the names to work his way towards that.
Why do you think that? But why do you think that's a bad thing to mention Taylor Rooks? She does amazing work, man.
I know she's very good. She's very good at what she does. Amazon's very good. I don't think Amazon gets. I think people don't like Prime because it's Prime and you have to pay for it and all that. But Amazon Prime, at least their football presentation, it's up there. It's very much up there.
Amazon has an all-female broadcast that you could turn to. They have an all-22 broadcast that you can watch.
They have the
next is the future of football.
I wanted to watch the Next Gen Stats one, but it was like 2 game minutes behind, which makes sense because they got to do the overlays and all that fun stuff. But yeah, Jason, you really hit the nail on the head with the Seattle. It's the first time they've won back-to-back games against the Seahawks since 2011, 2012. Greatness, let Jason cook. Thank you for the donation.
No, I was cooking last night. Last night's post-game show was not anything that was any sort of analysis. No. It was just me firing off on anybody who popped up in the chat. We had a Raiders fan pop up in the chat. I eviscerated that young man. Yeah.
I hope Raider fan comes, hangs out, watches Sprint Red Option podcast. Also subscribes to Jason Aponte's YouTube channel. Yeah, Marshawn Lynch. Anything Marshawn Lynch does is must see TV. Jason. Do we want to start with the quarterback position as we usually do?
Yeah.
So I don't want to start too deep with football guy terminology, football guy lingo, but Jason, you're going to understand exactly what I'm saying when I say this. I'm not 100% Brock Purdy is that guy yet. But he's definitely a dude. And that's all the Niners really need. They don't need the guy yet. I could be convinced that Brock Purdy is the guy, but all the 49ers offense need at quarterback is a dude. And that's where they're at right now. He's unbelievable. I don't know how many quarterbacks would have the wherewithal to run that double screen fake thing. That's what I'm calling it, as flawlessly as he did. And Jason, I just want to give the biggest example to the people who think we joke when we say Kyle Shanahan 100% watches the Sprint Red Option podcast. Hi, Kyle. I last Monday said, listen, I don't want to compare quarterbacks, but this is the easiest comparison I'm going to have. And this is a word I'm going to use because it's a buzzword. Brock Purdy has the most poise in a quarterback I've seen in a 49ers uniform in a very long time. And Matt Maiocco tweeted something very interesting last night after the game. Kyle Shanahan on Brock Purdy. He's definitely the most poised rookie quarterback I've ever had. Interesting use of words, Kyle Shanahan. Poise, I don't know. It's very hard not to get very excited about Brock Purdy at this moment in time. And I think that's the whole point I'm trying to make here. I know I'm all over the place, but that's how exciting Brock Purdy is.
To have this be a short week, I do think that the oblique was bothering him a little bit more than people let on. I mean, I think you could see it on certain throws. I mean, he started the game 10 for 10. Nobody would have sat there and said something was wrong with him.
No.
But he missed a few throws that you can kind of see, right? That was going on with him. But poise is the word. And Kyle's guy is Kirk, man. That's it. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let's just say it. Let's just get it out there. Let's just get it out there. Kyle has his Kirk, man. Yeah. Everything that it seems like he loved about Kirk Cousins, he loves about Brock Purdy, and it's showing right now. Here's the thing about this offense. It doesn't matter who the quarterback was.
No.
Guys were running wide open all over the place.
Yep.
Now there's a guy who is hitting those wide open guys at different parts of the field. So has Kyle changed things? Well, the Trey Lance thing is more rooted in running. I get that portion of it. But Purdy and Jimmy, again, those things are kind of those throws have been there, ready for Jimmy to hit them. Jimmy just doesn't throw those. Purdy does. And you're starting to see it. Look, I don't want to stir the pot controversy because there's no point in talking about a quarterback competition that's going to happen in the offseason, whatever it is, because all of these have qualifiers behind them in terms of, well, if Purdy wins the bowl, well, if Purdy does this, well, that's why you hold off on those conversations. But I think Kyle's guy is Kirk, man. I don't know, man. I'm sorry. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I've been wrong fucking plenty of times through this whole process.
A little
by
bit.
the way,
Here and there.
Yeah. So like, don't
we've
listen to me.
We've always been right on Brock Purdy, though. Never once have we been wrong about Brock Purdy. We've always been
undefeated,
right.
never lost. But
never lost.
At this point, it does feel like he is enjoying himself right now.
Yes. Bruce, thank you for the donation. Honest opinion on how hard Philly will be to beat. Very hard. I don't think the Niners like I don't think there's a team in the NFL the Niners can't beat right now. But I think Philly is definitely like Philly, Kansas City, Buffalo are the three teams that scare me the most. Outside of that, I mean, other than maybe the Lions a little bit, but that's just like right now, prisoner of the moment. They're kind of the hot team, and I don't want to play them in the playoffs. Don Burr, shout out, we love you. But yeah, Philly's going to be tough. Philly's going to be tough. That's about it. I do want to say you mentioned the one bad throw, the oh no throw, that dropped interception.
Interception is not a stat.
Which I want to say the other term for dropped interception is incomplete pass, and there's already a category for that. And I see everybody saying it, and it's just the weirdest thing. I don't know why. Like if you see anybody talking about dropped interceptions about anybody, they have a narrative they're trying to stick to. But that did trigger the most important sequence of the game with the Niners punting, Seattle forcing Dre Greenlaw forcing Seattle to fumble, and then the Niners score a touchdown a couple plays later. So maybe just another play of Brock Purdy having the wherewithal to see what was going to happen in the future. I don't know. But other than that, I have no major complaints. I think the most impressive play he had on the game was the scramble. The fourth quarter, 2 minutes, running out the clock, getting to the first down marker, but having the wherewithal to slide, stay in bounds, and get the ball over the first down marker. And I know it sounds simple, like just a scramble, a 2-yard scramble, but that awareness of that situation, I don't know if that can be taught to 22-year-old quarterbacks. I think that's something he has. I don't know. Maybe that's me reading into a simple play too deeply, Jason, but there's something to that play and him knowing exactly where to be in that moment.
The most impressive part is not the stats. It feels like Purdy is a veteran, and that was his second start. That goes back to poise. That goes back to preparation. He's playing incredible, and there's nothing else that needs to be said. He's playing incredible, and we are going to talk about our coach. We're going to take some victory laps.
Quite a bit. We're going to talk about Kyle Shanahan.
We're going to take some victory laps, but
maybe not the tease in the 3 stars segment area.
But Brock Purdy is operating this offense at a level for these last 3 games that we haven't seen in a long time.
Yes.
Or ever.
Yeah.
I think that's a valid discussion. I think that is a valid discussion about whether Brock Purdy is operating this offense at a level that has not been operated with. I know we have the 5-game stretch with Jimmy Garoppolo. Even those kind of feel similar in his style of play later on down the line. You have the New Orleans game, you have the Arizona game. There's something about now, if you pull up the all-22 and everybody runs to like post clips of guys running wide open.
Yeah.
Now there's no guys running wide open. The ball's actually being thrown to them. And so look, I don't want to put down Jimmy Garoppolo. And I certainly don't want to put down Trey Lance. But we are talking matter-of-fact stuff, right? Yeah. Brock Purdy's been playing good. Well that this at least needs to be a discussion.
Yes.
At least needs to be a discussion.
When's the last? I posed this question after the first touchdown to Kittle, but when's the last time a Niners quarterback made you feel like this? And my first thought is Kaepernick 2013, because I think the reason this feels a little different, and this isn't any disrespect to Jimmy Garoppolo's 5-game run in 2017, it's just what the situation was. It felt good because the Niners were 1-9, and it gave them something to look forward to. Where even this is just a 2-game stretch. These are Niners kind of need to win these games to keep up, and they're trying for a Super Bowl. And Brock Purdy's doing it under that pressure. I think there's a little bit different pressure of coming into a season late in the season with a 1-9 team, just trying not to make them look worse, and having to come in and perform and get this team to a Super Bowl, right? And Greatness 54, thank you for the donation. Can we give John Lynch his flowers for signing Greenlaw early in the season because today's price is not tomorrow? That Jason absolutely mentioned that. Jason 100% mentioned it on Monday, Wednesday, whatever. This is podcast number 3. Days are blurred together.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But
Yep.
good for Drake Greenlaw, man. I love
very
that.
good for
Thank you,
and
greatness for your donation. Appreciate it.
We'll get to him definitely. We'll get to him when we talk about linebackers because it's very hard to talk about the linebackers without
cops are coming.
Trigger. No, that's actually an ambulance. It's going down I Street right now. That's
Are the ambulance going to pick up the dead carcass of the Seahawks season?
Oh no, I'm in Sacramento though, but I like the attempt. I like the attempt. Yes, the the double reverse screen pass thing that made me feel things. Yeah. And I don't know if that's a Brock Purdy or a Kyle Shanahan thing. I just wanted to shoehorn it into here.
Well,
a little bit
of
both.
Rich Madrid.
And Rich Madrid.
The last time
Rich Madrid called the play?
The last time that this play was called was during George Kittle's record-breaking season.
Yeah.
Nick Mullins, fake. George Kittle, fake, fell down, got up, and threw the ball to him. So, it's in there. Mm-hmm. And shout out to Jeremy, Cubs, B23, whatever. I'm sorry, I'm missing his name, but Jeremy's great, man. He's a great football mind, and he's a great follow, because he has all the play calls. He understands those things. He pointed out Steve Young ran that from Walsh's. So it's kind of funny, the correlations between Walsh's play call, the same thing, and it's all, one offense, you add a little more, but at its core, that's still a play that's been run since the 80s. So I think that was really cool.
Yeah, no, that was a very electric play, and I know it was the first touchdown, but that was the first inkling that I felt like, oh, this game's over, and it kind of ended this conversation we had at the top. 8-point win. It's their smallest margin of victory since week 10. I posted a tweet about how they have a plus 116 point differential over this 7-game winning streak. The final score was such a lie.
Yeah,
21-3. The Niners, I never really felt that the game was in doubt. I mean, maybe not until the very end when the Niners had to get a couple first downs. But even then, I wasn't too worried. Like the 3rd and 3, I was saying, okay, maybe pass the ball here, get the first down, put the game away. But the second I saw they turned around and gave it to Jordan Mason, I'm like, no, they're winning this. This is done. And he goes for what, 55 to end the game?
Hold on. Let me ask you a question, Andrew.
Okay.
Jordan Mason not going down in bounds and trying to score a touchdown, does that put him in Kyle Shanahan's doghouse?
It puts him in my doghouse actually, because I was so focused on like prepping for the Niner game yesterday, I forgot I left him in the starting lineup of my fantasy.
So you would have taken a touchdown.
I would have taken a touchdown instead. So I mean, it is what it is. I'm not a big fantasy guy. So that's
can I also, nobody cares about fantasy teams, but we're in our fantasy football
playoffs. I got one more win. I got one more. Yeah. I got a win this week.
I lost Lamar Jackson. I pivoted to Tyler Huntley, but I had already clinched my spot. I wasn't trying to wait for Tyler Huntley. I have George Kittle on my team.
Yeah.
I decided to pick up Brock Purdy.
Love that.
Love the stack.
Love
the stack, baby. That's
a great stack. Yeah. That's a great stack. Hey, since we started talking about Jordan Mason, do we want to go to running backs?
Go for it.
So you remember on Wednesday when we were like, hey, Christian McCaffrey, bum knee, Jordan Mason, he's looking good. Maybe you just use Christian McCaffrey as a receiver more this game. Nope. Christian McCaffrey, 26 carries of the 34 team carries, 108 yards and a touchdown. And a couple years ago, Jason, I said Jordan Mason, Jeff Wilson would be on the top of like one of my least favorite players to tackle in the NFL. I'm gonna throw. Yeah, we love Jordan Mason here. That's a different podcast.
Jason, I have never once. And look, everybody knows my Purdy takes, which I've apologized for. Shout out to you, Brock Purdy. I'm the bozo. But no.
But Christian McCaffrey has to be up there in terms of people I wouldn't want to tackle because he's just so damn bouncy that like he doesn't take hits, he just bounces. And like it never looks like he gets hit too hard because he just bounces off these hits and he somehow gets like Frank Gore, you know how he used to always fall forward for 3 yards? Christian McCaffrey just like bounces for 4. And it's unbelievable. He's so fun to watch. He's pretty good. Pretty good. I would say that was a pretty important trade for the 49ers.
Oh, Andrew, so I guess this is the part of the conversation where we get to man, you shouldn't have traded for Christian McCaffrey. Let's do some fully implemented stats, right?
Yeah.
I get to pick where the stats start.
Yeah.
It's not the Kansas City game because he wasn't fully implemented in that game. Since Christian McCaffrey has been fully implemented into the offense, the San Francisco 49ers have not lost a game. Doesn't matter if it's Jimmy Garoppolo or Brock Purdy starting. Do not tell me that the effect means nothing.
Yeah.
That is insane. Now, we can grade this trade in a few years because you're giving up future picks.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we'll always double back to this conversation because we'll find out what those picks fetched those other teams, you know, that team, the Panthers, right? And then we'll look back and say, damn, well, they got this and this and this. Okay. But as of right now, come on. Deebo Samuel was missing in this game.
Yes.
And I said this last night. Deebo Samuel was missing in this game. You know how you offset the loss of the best offensive weapon in the league?
Just have
use the other offensive weapon on your team.
Yeah.
Like this is it right here, right? A lot of people complained about target distribution. George Kittle even spoke about it with Tony Gonzalez before the game about we got Brandon Ayuk. I know some weeks it's not me.
Yeah.
But if one guy goes down, you still can manufacture offense. And how much of this has to do with Christian McCaffrey? Anyone who was not a fan of that trade is probably a fan of third round running back picks, which look awful, by the way. So
no, it's pretty easy for the Niners to say that Christian McCaffrey is their guy from here on out. I mean, even extending into the receiving game, 32 total touches for 138 yards. Like he makes, you mentioned it, Jason, he makes the Deebo Samuel injury less frightening. And I mean, it definitely helps that Samuel should be back by the Raiders game and all that fun stuff. So like, he's not going to be gone too long, but in the short term, it's so important to have him in this offense because you're not missing a beat whatsoever. And he's so fun to watch. And that's the thing. It's even if you don't like giving up the picks, whatever you want, I don't get that because F them picks, right? It's an exciting player to watch in this offense that you know who's going to be there every week. And that's all it is he's fun to watch. He's an entertaining player to watch and he's good. And on top of it, as we mentioned, when the trade happened, he's the guy you pictured in Kyle Shanahan's offense. And this is when you pictured him in this offense 2-3 years ago, this is literally what it looked like. This is literally what everybody pictured.
I'm sorry, Dawson. I didn't mean to throw that out there at you. I know. Look, we are all rooting for TDP. We are all rooting for TDP. I promise, Dawson.
So, and then obviously Jordan Mason doesn't get a lot of touches. Matt Mayoko stole my slant earlier today when he made the joke about Mariano Rivera closing the game.
Who? Big day for Niner Yankee fans yesterday. Big day. Huge day.
Yes, huge day for Niner Yankee fan. Carlos Rodon. I love Carlos Rodon, by the way. I love Carlos Rodon. I hope he succeeds in New York. I would not have touched him for 6 years. That's okay. But this question, the Josh Thomas Ehrlich, thank you for the donation. Who would you both rather have, DK Metcalf or Deebo? Josh is trolling right now because
Josh deserves to have this answered.
So Josh knows what I'm. Because listen, I may or may not have been a little not in the right mind watching the Niner game last night, enjoying some California.
Can we expound on that a little more?
California
right
stuff,
mind.
plant, whatever you want to say, grass, whatever cool kids say.
Okay.
And I may have said something, and this is why he's referencing this question.
Mm-hmm.
As an offensive weapon, yeah, obviously Deebo. I still think as a receiver, I'd rather have DK Metcalf, but that's okay. We don't need to talk like we're celebrating all positive vibes.
All positive vibes. But Deebo Samuel. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Josh, for bringing this up.
Thank you for the donation. He's just trolling. He's trolling.
I love that.
He knows what he's doing right now.
I love that.
He knows this is how much he trolls me. He paid $5 to troll me.
Look,
that's how much. That exactly. Like, come on. Like, he knew what he was doing. He knew what I said. Let's transition to the receivers because there's one big name here.
That's how you turn it over to the receivers.
Exactly. That's how you turn it over to receivers.
This episode is electric. We're rolling.
George Kittle, how you doing? I said in my Niners Nation article yesterday, and I don't know if you knew this, Jason, but we both write for NinersNation.com. Go check out all our great articles. Both of his touchdowns, if you close your eyes and imagine what a George Kittle touchdown looks like, is exactly that, right? It was the leaking, and Quandre Diggs got beat up yesterday. Quandre Diggs had a terrible game because on both Kittle touchdowns, Kittle was the one who, or excuse me, Diggs was the one who Kittle beat on the way to the end zone. Kittle was the one who, or excuse me, I'm messing it up. Diggs was the one whose tackle Kittle avoided on the second touchdown on the first play. Diggs had the dropped interception. But that's exactly what you'd expect from a George Kittle game. 4 receptions, 93 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hey, only his 3rd multi-touchdown game of his career. Did you know that, Jason? You did, because I mentioned earlier this season when he had his 2nd multi-touchdown game in the of his career. It was only his 2nd, so this is his 3rd. George Kittle's electric. Jawan Jennings, 3rd and Jawan. Is that what we call it? Like that's all he does. Mm-hmm. Brandon Ayuk's still very good. I know it's a rough night for that one drop. I know that was the big play a lot of people talked about for Brandon Ayuk, but it was the one big
play, because the play after feels like it was a little bit more. It was a little important.
I guess that's true too. But anyways, the pro Brandon Ayuk propaganda on this podcast will continue despite the drop. Yeah, because we love Brandon Ayuk here.
Oh yeah. I think again when we talk about playmakers, right? And let's get back to George Kittle. There's gonna be weeks where Kyle Shanahan sees the advantage in using Kittle more.
Yes.
And knowing he can pick on linebackers, safeties. I think it was Richard Sherman that pointed out Quandre Diggs' effort. And he didn't really hold back.
No, it wasn't great.
No.
He did not have a good game, to say the least.
So this is the thing about the playmakers, right? A lot of people want a certain amount of targets for certain guys. And we've gone over this. The only people that are upset about this are fantasy football players.
Yes.
And right now, why not? We're in the fantasy football playoffs.
Now is the time.
You know what? 5 targets for George Kittle isn't going to get it done. But when you turn those 5 targets into 4 for 100-something and 2 tugs, that
and you have them stacked with Brock Purdy,
yes,
things like
double
that.
Points.
Yeah, double
Bring
points.
On the double points.
You love it.
And here I was about to roll Tyler Huntley or Mike White, who got benched or he's injured or whatever. So looks like I might have made the right decision. But this is the thing: is week to week, personnel, defense, what they do. I think you're gonna find that every week it's gonna be someone else.
Yes,
that is a luxury that no other team has. When you face the Eagles, you know AJ Brown is going to be the focal point.
Yeah.
When you face the Dallas Cowboys, you know CeeDee Lamb is going to be the focal point. Now, with the San Francisco 49ers, and especially when Deebo Samuel comes back, the cliches pick your poison. And it's truly pick your poison. And it's going to be based on what they're giving you. And that all gets back to that beautiful coach dressed in black. And I think that we have to adjust the rankings because when coach wears black, he starts cooking.
Snack. I just want to say too, with the pick your poison comment, Jason, I think the way we've seen this Niners offense operate with Christian McCaffrey, saying pick your poison isn't even really fair because it's literally the Niners say, here, you have to take this shot of poison with Christian McCaffrey because that's just going to happen. And then, after you take that shot of poison, now pick your poison. Do you want it to be Kittle? Do you want it to be Samuel? Do you want it to be Ayuk?
Do you want it to be a Purdy run?
Do you want it to be a Purdy one? And you could even say at certain points, Jordan Mason as well, because he's still 4 carries. He helped his average quite a bit. He went, his season average is 5 yards a carry? He had 16 yards a carry yesterday. And I know that's because of one run, but hey, that's how averages work. So yeah, the Niners offense, especially when Kittle does this and you look at Ayuk's numbers and say, you know what, that's okay. Kittle was the one. Maybe next week against the Commies, it's going to be Ayuk's game, things like that. So it's
the Commies.
It's unfair. It's
Can we
really
go back to the Washington football team. I'm sorry.
I miss the Washington football team so much. And I'm hoping Jeff Bezos, I know you're watching as well. When you buy that team, please go back and name them the Washington football team.
Andrew, hot take.
Okay.
Dan, you'll get that damn franchise from Dan Snyder's cold.
No. If Dan Snyder is still the owner by 2024, the NFL has made a massive mistake.
The NFL, I love the game of football, but the NFL as a corporation is an insane mess. And they continue to make mistakes. Yo, the NFL makes mistakes every day, be dead ass. I am not convinced.
Is that your way of training me for New York in March?
Yes. Okay, yes, go. Facts. Go. And make sure you bring layers when you come over here to watch the Yankees on opening day. But yeah,
well, I'm going to be watching the Giants and Carlos Correa, best player on the field that day.
Christ no. Christ no.
Hey, Jason, offensive lineman, and since I already referenced like day one listeners remembering when he said say something positive, day one listeners will remember Sprint Red Option podcast. You don't come here and disrespect Mike McGlinchey. You don't come and disrespect our king.
Hold on.
Hey, he hasn't allowed a sack in 6 games. No pressures last night.
Can we talk about something real quick?
Our king, number 69, baby. What's up?
Why does it feel like Mike McGlinchey is playing better with Brock Purdy?
Huh.
So it's almost like this.
It's interesting.
A lot of people talk about, oh, well, he blew this, he blew that. Yep. Sometimes that ball needs to be out earlier. Sometimes that ball needs to be out on time. Mm-hmm. And when it's not, based on the protection scheme, based on who you're facing, bad things can happen.
Oh.
Kind of funny. We're sitting here talking about Brock Purdy elevating this offense and playing as well as he has. And we're even making the argument that this offense looks the best that it's looked under any quarterback in the Shanahan time. Kind of funny. Sacks go on offensive linemen, but sometimes sacks are quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Just want to say.
And that's like, I mean, once again, I know we're talking about McGlinchey and the offensive line, but like that's where we talk about like having a mobile quarterback. So important. Like Brock Purdy isn't mobile, but he moves. And that's so important for an offensive line. And that's kind of what we were talking about with Trey Lance. Like, hey, is Lance's mobility going to help the offensive line improve? And now we have a guy with decent mobility, not obviously as mobile as Lance.
I'm sorry.
Hi, I see you. That's okay. You have mobility like Brock Purdy. It's going to make the offensive line's job a lot easier. Trent Williams also very good. That's just kind of a statement we say every week. I thought it was a very good performance by the offensive line. And I know the easy way to say that is because of the run game and how well they look, but it felt like as a team, 4 pressures allowed.
Josh is cooking.
Any football guy lingo for McGlinchey. I think he, I really don't. I don't. I'm not good at it. I got to plan things well in advance to be able to be that good.
I would say that he showed a lot of moxie. He was laying the wood. That's it.
Hey yo,
what?
I just made the football lingo joke. You didn't have to like directly reference.
I don't care. Like we vibing. It is 8:47 on the East Coast on a Friday. We're vibing, here at Niners Nation, we put in so much work writing, right? Yeah. All the work. This weekend, you know what we get to do?
Nothing.
We get to vibe.
I get to forget football exists for
not
a day.
Me. I get to go and do what my regular pastime on Sundays was. I can go to a bar and watch football. I can hang out with my friends and watch football. Unbelievable.
I love that. I love that so much for us, actually. I do. I'm busy on Sunday, so I can't. But I will be watching the most important football game on Sunday. Yes, that is
about this.
Argentina versus France. No, when you say God of War, you mean Charlie Brown's Big Adventure. Just get
that game is finished. I finally, you know what I did in that game? I finally finished it to a completion that I got another scene for Averly, and even I was excited. And she was just like,
I didn't know Charlie Brown's Big Adventure had alternate endings.
It had an ending with the where they find everybody. Whatever.
I know. I know. Like in Bug Snacks, an electric game. I don't know if you have Bug Snacks
He's
yet.
Been playing Peppa.
Hey man, hey, listen. I'm friends with Jason on PlayStation. I can see what he plays. I'll leak it every so often if I need to.
She comes home from school today and she says play PlayStation. And I was like, I don't want to play that game, man. I don't. I'm done, man.
Well, isn't God of War technically like a father-son story? So like you could make that bond.
Yeah, but it's super violent.
You know.
Oh.
You know.
Yeah.
The ratings on the game are only suggestions, really. Anyways, we're talking about God of War at the same point. Yeah, we are talking Bug Snacks. My reference to Bug Snacks was like Charlie Brown. If you can kill certain of the characters and you get different finishes depending on that.
Offensive line.
It's Bug Snacks. Okay, we're done.
Offensive line. You want to talk about things on the field? I want to talk about things that are off the field. Trent Williams coming out of the tunnel, flipping off the Seattle Seahawks fans.
Jimmy Ward ripping the sign.
Yeah, you are already the GOAT.
Yeah.
Already. You're already the GOAT. You're already the GOAT of being out in front with Debo, singing Walk by Kodak Black, whatever Kodak
The
Black
bump
song you
box.
guys
I
like.
love the bump
Yes.
box.
But don't tell me that this game didn't mean anything. And Trent just got here.
Yeah.
Trent just got here. When I listen to George Kittle talk at the end of the game about Joe Staley crying in 2019, how much this actually means, how much a bunch of the guys that were there, it meant to them. This game means something, man.
Yeah.
This game meant something. And that's why I'm so hyped, man. I really am so hyped still. I'm having so much fun with this. You don't get back those other games with this win, but you do set the precedent now that this ain't the same fucking Niners, and you're not going to play with us like that. And that's what I love about this. It's a new day, bruh. Russell Wilson might be helping you with draft position by absolutely tanking for Denver, but he ain't here to come to walk through those doors and save you anymore, Pete Carroll. Get your ass cooked. That's what I love about this.
Yeah. Everything Jason just said, I don't think I could have said that any better. Because Jason just has the Jersey vibe to it, and I don't think Sacramento gives off that same vibe. So I agree. Thumbs up, Jason. Great point. I love this offensive line.
Some parts of Sac does. I heard it's kind of gully over there.
It's
everybody's got spots.
It's Sacramento. It's light the beam. Light the beam. That's what they say.
Light the beam.
Here.
I love that.
Light the beam. I'll take a picture for you tonight when they win. Jason, we are going to flip over to the defense now. And before I say that, hey, if you're new here, Sprint Right Option Podcast, Jason Aponte's YouTube channel, subscribe. It's a great Christmas present. Give to your loved one the gift of Jason Aponte. It is a great one.
Funny?
You can also subscribe.
I know that you say that jokingly, but I got an email from YouTube that says you can gift memberships and subscriptions to YouTube.
Give the gift of Jason Aponte.
Everybody
wants.
Look, I would love if you did that. But if I ever woke up one day on Christmas and you handed me something, or you sent me an email saying I gifted you a subscription to someone's YouTube channel, I would say, you know what, we got to go outside and let's fix this now. Let's fix this. Come on, it's funny.
Hopefully, I can call UPS and get my gift returned, because that's already on your way.
You didn't give me a subscription.
That's a joke. But hey, yeah, subscribe to the Sprint Right Option Podcast anywhere you get your podcast. Hey, Jason, you're talking about Brock Purdy, how the numbers sometimes it doesn't reflect the feel, how he felt, all that fun stuff. Eric Armstead is the ultimate guy on that. Hey, thank you for the follow or the YouTube membership, the Spicy Squad, Joey. Thank you very much. Eric Armstead is the ultimate feel guy, because if you look at his box score, his traditional box score, obviously not the PFF one tackle, nothing lighting up. Eric Armstead had a massive game yesterday. He had multiple pressures. The box score never shows it, but you know when Eric Armstead had a big game. Paul, shout out. I saw that today, thought of you, and I was like, boy, I look dumb right now, don't I?
12-1. Those odds are not as good as they were before. If you got that money before, like if you got those odds before.
Didn't he say he got it like 1,001 or whatever it was?
Yeah, Paul, I mean, if you got in at 1,001, your numbers are ridiculous right now. Like what you're looking to come home with at this point.
We love that. We love
because you know what's funny? We are, what is it? We're 3 weeks away from the conclusion of the season. And it's between Kenneth Walker and Brock Purdy, offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Jameson Williams hasn't played. Garrett Wilson maybe has a claim. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Breece Hall would have probably run away with this thing early on in the season. This is actually not a bad bet. Now, it's still longer odds, but I don't know, man. That's a good bet. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Eric Armstead's good. I mean, really.
Oh,
got me at the end of it.
Eric Armstead. I think a lot of people, Chris Olave. That's a good call. Probably it's probably Olave. It's Kenneth Walker, Olave, and Purdy. I like that too. Very good call. BSC and Hendricks. I think I'm just gonna reiterate what I said the last time that Eric Armstead played football. If someone wants to present stats as a way to quantify Eric Armstead's impact, they're not watching the games, and they're not your friend. They're not your friend.
Yeah.
Don't let your friends bring stats into that discussion. I would implore those people to watch the games. Yeah. Please watch the game.
Please.
Because what he's done. Now, starting around in shape, occupying double teams. And then forget that. That was occupying double teams the last week. This week, 4 or 5 pressures this week, something to that extent. I think Jordan was the one who sent that out. My goodness, man.
Unbelievable.
You're adding this now to an already elite defense. This defense was already that good before Eric Armstead showed up. Now Eric Armstead's here, and he's relatively healthy. Now you're talking about adding Javon Kinlaw and another. It's just
you know how to talk to me.
You are right now looking at a team that is rounding into shape, that is still not in its final form. That's for my anime people. This is a team that right now is continuing to be a team that is going to be either the hottest, the healthiest, or both.
Yeah.
Going into the playoffs. And the team that everyone does not want to play. Yeah. Nobody is cool with having the San Francisco 49ers come into their building. And like Andrew said, Minnesota, Dallas, Philly, Westeros, bring it.
Don't matter.
Bring it.
It really doesn't matter. Nothing can scare me. And like, not to bring it back to Purdy and Kyle Shanahan about that. Like it says so much. And if you need an idea of how rough it looks like with a third string quarterback, and I hope Jared Bailey's not here, I implore you to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday, Saturday, whatever day they play this week. Google it. You have Google. I can't tell you everything, guys. And see what Mason Rudolph looks like compared to what Brock Purdy looks like, and see what third string quarterbacks can look like. Okay, like that just going back to that point. But yeah, Eric Armstead is unbelievable. He's healthy. He's there. Can they stop the Eagles or KC? Team has issue with mobile quarterbacks. They can beat anybody at this point.
I think that Kansas City game you got to toss out because they gave up touchdowns just blowing coverages. It wasn't because Patrick Mahomes was running around. Like that game was just more like toss that game out. There's no other examples this season of them not being able to hold down mobile quarterbacks. Russell Wilson didn't kill them with his legs.
No.
They didn't get to face Kyler Murray and they won't. But last year, you watched them during Trey Lance's first start in Arizona.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray was the MVP, and he had like 7 rushing yards.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that that's the issue anymore.
Yeah.
If that's your fear, that's something that the 49ers haven't necessarily been tested by running quarterbacks, right? Because Mahomes isn't a running quarterback. He's a mobile quarterback. Running quarterbacks, I think that's fair. I'm not necessarily as worried, man. I really am not. As fast as his defense plays, as fast as these guys are firing off to the ball. And I saw your comment earlier about Hufanga. Yeah, okay. Hufanga might give up a play here and there, but he's offsetting that by sacking the quarterback, taking the ball away. So you can live with those things. If he was just out there getting cooked and burnt and wasn't doing anything, then you feel like this defense is too good, too fast. The game plan is too good. D'Amico's too good. They're getting too healthy for me to worry about now. All of a sudden, they can't stop running quarterbacks, in my opinion.
That question was for you. He just said Jace. No, I'm joking. Yeah, they'll be fine. I think they can really beat any team. D-Will, do you both remember your 49ers season predictions? Are they meeting or exceeding those expectations? Can we save this for later after? Because I want to get through the
defense. I'm going to start.
And we'll start. We'll get back to this, D-Will, I promise. We're going to get through the defense. We'll have plenty of time to talk about the season and all that because obviously division champions, it's time to reflect a little bit. Jason, I want to move to Nick Bosa. He's pretty good. Don't know if you knew that. 15 and a half sacks. 15 and a half sackaroonies. That's what we're looking for. Matches a career high for Bosa. He's half a sack away from breaking his career high, obviously, as I just said that. He's pretty good, and I know people want to complain about the roughing the passer call, which I don't blame them. By rule, that's a roughing the passer. It's a dumb rule. It's stupid. But it's called right. I disagree with it. So every fan is correct to be angry about it. He's just so damn dominant. And it's at a point where he's in the backfield every play. And he's just really good. Like, what else can we say?
DPOY. Stop playing.
Plain and simple.
Just do it.
He gives a really good effort. And he gives a depoy effort, dare I say. I like that. That's my thing.
Steph Sanchez yesterday, I did not see until this morning, absolutely fried Emmanuel Acho and said, I wonder if he understands Nick Bosa's effort tonight. So that's not my statement. Shout out to Steph. Love Steph. Make sure you guys subscribe to the 49K pod. Bully Ball on Niners Nation Podcast Network, by the way. Yeah. I wonder if his effort was good enough for Emmanuel Acho. I wonder.
He's good. He's very good. He's very good, and I think that's all we really need to say about him, because like we go back and listen to like you could just throw a dart at our list of podcasts and you'll find one that we talk about how good Nick Bosa is. So there's a Nick Bosa segment.
And you know what? It did take me almost like 2-3 seasons in this game for me to finally realize that he was good.
Yeah, if it took you this game, you're a little late. I apologize.
It finally dawned on me when I was watching him play yesterday. I was like, man, he's actually pretty good. I had no idea. So
I thought it was Joey. I thought it was Joey the whole time.
Many
That's
announcers
bad,
do.
apparently. Hey,
many announcers.
Yeah, but hey, so Jason, I think something that is unfair for the 49ers defense, and I tweeted this. They get to have Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, and Azeez Al-Shaair all on the same linebacking core, and it took 5 plays for me to tweet that, because there was a stretch on the 3rd play of the game. Seattle tried to run a little running back screen. Azeez Al-Shaair sniffed it out from a mile away for a tackle for loss. Greenlaw almost had an interception on the very next play. He dropped it, whatever, that's fine. It's an incomplete pass. He forced an incomplete pass. That's a good way to say it. And then Greenlaw got a pressure on the very next play. And you notice how I didn't mention the best linebacker on the 49ers, Fred Warner? It's unbelievable that the 49ers are even allowed to have this much linebacker depth, because it's to bring it back to the Niners offensive weapon, to pick your poison. It's literally just 3 shots of poison. It doesn't matter which one you pick, you're dying.
Dre Greenlaw was possessed by the spirit of Navarro Bowman. We didn't forget. We did not forget.
I like that. I love that connection you just made there. I love that.
We didn't forget. And that's why this game is so fun. That's why we're so happy. That's why we're dancing on Seattle's grave. Yeah. There's too many painful memories. Dre Greenlaw was possessed by the spirit of Navarro Bowman. And there's something about when he plays in that stadium that turns him into a madman. But he's been that. And yes, thank God they paid him early on. I don't know what else needs to be said. He's controlled himself. He doesn't have penalties anymore. He is firing to the ball. He seems confident. He's playing fast and free. At this point, man, I love Azeez Al-Shaair. We love Azeez Al-Shaair. Dre Greenlaw is completely outplaying him right now at this point.
And absolutely.
And that's fine. That's fine.
And this Niners defense is like, it's so good. It's almost like boring to talk about, because we're just saying the same things we've said for 15 weeks now about all these players. And I thought my best tweet of the night, not to like talk about my Twitter too much, was Dre Greenlaw making a big play in Seattle, more like Dre ever Greenlaw. Thank you. Fable, thank you for the comment. What's a better situation going into the playoffs, getting Kinlaw and Mitchell back and Josh Johnson being the backup quarterback, or Mitchell and Lance back for the playoff? Ooh, that's a great question. Can we start that one too? I like that question. That feels like a future question as well. I like it. Well, I think it's Kinlaw and Mitchell.
And I think we can, not to be the wet blanket, you're not going to see Trey Lance again.
Yeah, like that. That's the thing. Yeah, I think that's
not our decision.
Yeah.
So don't look. That's not our decision. That is not our decision, right? Like, that's not what I would do. I am trying to give you what I believe they will do, and I think they're fine with getting Kinlaw, Mitchell, and Josh Johnson rolling in as a backup. Yeah. In my opinion, what I would think they would, what I would like to do is have Trey Lance there just in case, God forbid, breaking case of emergency. But if you listen to Kyle talk, I know that us 49er fans have gotten our detective skills up this entire time. We try to sift through comments, try to find up and down. Sometimes Kyle just means what he says. And I think I really do believe that he's not trying to put him there at all. And what I would love for Trey, in my opinion, this might be controversial. What I would love for Trey, start next year.
Yeah.
Take the entire year off, get healthy, and get ready for next year. That's it.
What team? That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke. Christ. That was a joke.
We're getting canceled.
That was a joke, guys. That was a joke, guys. Hey, you know who had a really good game last night? Charvarius Ward. Let's move on to the second. Like, as I said, what more can we say about the Niners linebackers that we haven't said? So we're just moving on to the secondary.
Fred Warner's also pretty good.
Fred Warner's very good. He's the best of the three. And I know Dre Greenlaw is very good, But like, let's not get it twisted who the best one is. It's Warner, and it's okay to say that. It's okay. I'm not trying to start an argument. 7 times targeted, 5 receptions, 44 total yards. He had 2 pass breakups and 2 first downs allowed. He followed DK Metcalf. He's so good. He's so good. And I know it's a low bar because the Niners aren't really the biggest team in free agency, but he has to be one of the biggest free agent signings of the last decade or two, unless I'm really forgetting somebody, because Trent Williams was a trade. A lot of the big names on this team are draft. I mean, who else would be as big of a signing as Charvarius Ward?
None.
Yeah, I can't think of one because the Niners don't really
Sherman.
less free agent. Like, yeah, but I think Niners Charvarius Ward is better than Niner Richard Sherman ever was. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Ward's good. Also, by the way, prayers to Ward. He cleared concussion protocol. Kyle stepped out and said, Kyle did something in this game. Oh man, I can't wait to talk about Kyle because this is gonna be a long episode. It's gonna be a long episode. Kyle said he was ready to go back in, and he said, "You know what? We don't need you today.
Yeah,
today you can rest.
Yeah,
take your extra days off, and we'll see you on Christmas Eve."
Yep.
And guess what? He was absolutely right. But you know what, Charvarius Ward. When I was asked earlier in the year, 2012, 2019, 2022, and this is before they ever took a snap, I said I preferred this defense for 2 reasons. Mm-hmm. Secondary, having a guy who was going to be man-on-man, one-on-one, love Richard Sherman, love Unk, all-pro when he played, cover 3 guy. Wasn't man. Mm-hmm. 2 reasons. Charvarius Ward, secondary, and D'Amico Ryans.
Love it.
That's it. And here, let's take this real quick. And I have one more person.
I love this question.
Okay.
Paul, thank you for the donation. They talking about ejecting players for roughing the quarterback. Why do the NFL do this instead of sitting? Example, NHL like a penalty box. Most sports codes have tiered punishments. I love the idea of just a penalty box in the NFL. I don't know why. Yeah. I love that idea, but yeah, that makes sense.
They should bring them to like closer to the fans and have them they
kind of do that with unsportsmanlike conducts because they get the first and then which my favorite. By the way, it is unrelated to the question. My favorite thing the Niners did all night last night on defense was after DK got the first unsportsmanlike, they were baiting him all game.
Yeah,
they were baiting him.
Did you
all
see?
Game.
Hold on.
The
did
one
you see Coach.
Yeah, I saw Coach. Coach was a good one, but there was another play where Fred Warner, I think it was Warner, but somebody in Metcalf got kind of face to face, and a ref stepped in between them, and Metcalf definitely used the advantage to like throw the ball at the Niner player. But since the ref was there, it looked like he was throwing it at like the Niners were baiting him all night. It was amazing. It was fun to watch.
What I'll say is this: I want to talk about one more person in the secondary.
Does he also have the last name Ward?
Jimmy Ward.
Jimmy Ward.
Jimmy Ward.
Acknowledge him.
Jimmy Ward. Jimmy Ward is doing everything that he can to do what's best for the team. Early on, when he was asked to be the slot corner, he looked uncomfortable.
Yep.
He said so as much. He has completely gone locked down since the last 2-3 weeks. I think the last time I saw somebody catch a ball on him or near him that was very far down the field was New Orleans. Jimmy Ward. Jimmy Ward. You cannot speak about this culture. You cannot speak about the way that this team fights for each other for a guy who is in a contract year. Acknowledge this same thing and is doing whatever he can, what he's asked, and not only doing it just to do it, performing. It is Jimmy Ward, man. Yep. This team is stupidly stacked. It makes no sense, man. It really makes no sense at how well Jimmy Ward is playing football right now. It really doesn't. And I want to talk about Lenore too. Yeah. Demo's been incredible, man. Incredible. And you would think you've got one Ward, you've got another Ward. You know, maybe we should pick on the guy who was deemed a slot corner, who had some struggles early on.
Didn't really see the field last year.
Yeah, like what happened?
Demo.
Like
very good.
Demo, this secondary, everything. This team has guys at every level. Every level.
Yeah.
Every level, man. But I am happy for Jimmy Ward. Whether Jimmy Ward stays or goes,
Yep.
I want to be on the record to praise Jimmy Ward for his selflessness for this team and for the culture that is built. That Jimmy Ward didn't piss and moan. He went and he did his job. And not only is he doing his job, he's doing it at a high level right now. Shout out to Jimmy Ward, man. I am so happy for him, man. I really am.
He's the last Niner from the Shanahan era. Or, excuse me, the Harbaugh era.
Yes.
Which is just, it's unbelievable. He's still here. He doesn't get talked about enough, I feel, for him being around. Yes. And then I saw somebody say BSC as well. Ward is the best bulky draft pick. Bulky drafted a lot of people, even though it's good. Sin, thank you for the donation. We love you. NFC Championship game.
Sin.
Niners versus Philly at Philly.
Sin, I know you're in Delaware. That means you pulling up in Philly. And I'm going. I am going. Don't let that NFC Championship game be there in Philly. Do not let that game be there. I will be there. I will drive 90 minutes, no questions asked. I will be at every single 49ers party. I will be yelling E40 song, which I generally despise. All those other 49ers songs that are not good.
Well, Bang Bang Niner Gang is bad. Bang Bang Niner Gang.
That song's really bad.
I thought you were slanding E40, and that's
no E40 is the man. That song's
that's
bad.
Okay.
That song is
very
bad.
Bang Bang Niner Gang is objectively bad. Objectively bad.
Objectively bad song.
Yes. Objectively bad song. Hey Jason, I know you. I feel you itching to talk about Kyle, but I promise if we go 3 stars, you'll get your chance.
Okay.
I promise. So let's go 3 stars first.
Okay.
I will go my 3rd star. I'm going to go a hybrid of Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead. Just both were phenomenal on the line. I want to make sure they both get their shine. We talked about it. They're both very good. Eric Armstead is sneaky, one of the most important pieces on this line, on this defense. And I feel like the Niners have 3 of those guys where all of them are there and they're very important. But Bosa and Armstead were phenomenal last night on line. Seattle couldn't get anything going, and it was because of them.
3rd star?
3rd star.
Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to you, young man. 26 years young, playing for the team that your father played for, undefeated since you've been fully implemented, having the time of his life.
Yeah.
I love it. And I know that we wanted more Jordan Mason.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. But Kyle was doing right by putting his best playmaker on the field at all times because you need to draw that attention. If Jordan Mason's on the field, you have no worries whether he's going to catch a pass or not. Yeah. Christian McCaffrey was running well, catching the ball well. The only thing he didn't do this time was throw the ball. Shout out to you, Christian McCaffrey. I can't wait to see what 3rd-round pick the 49ers would have used, like Jalen Hurd or Trey Sermon or Ty Davis Price. You can't pass up those 3rd-round picks.
Cannot.
Shout out to you, Christian McCaffrey, beating the overpay allegations. I love it.
We love it. Hey, my number 2 star is George Kittle, another one of those. Not a 3rd-round pick, but a 5th-round pick. And we love our 5th-round picks here. 2 touchdowns, 3rd time in his career. He's had multi-touchdown games, as I mentioned. He's good. And as I said, I think last night was the prototypical George Kittle game when you picture of like what it looked like. 4 receptions night. Like he had as many targets as Jawan Jennings did last night, had 62 more yards.
Yeah.
But like he's good. And when he's in the offense, when he's rolling in the offense, last night was one of them. Jason, you want to give me your number 2 and your number 1?
Well, my number 2 is Dre Greenlaw.
Love that.
Every single game, sideline to sideline, defending every blade of grass. I sound like, the cliche coach.
Yeah.
Dre Greenlaw has stepped his game up. Seems like he feels comfortable. Seems like he, after he got paid, is a guy now who is just comfortable now. Like, I know I'm not going anywhere. I feel great.
Yep.
Thank God that they did this early because if they would have waited to the end of the year, good Lord.
Yeah.
But yes, man, Dre Greenlaw, you deserve it all, man. You are, I would say you're on your way to a Pro Bowl, but you're on your way to the game after. So that Pro Bowl would not matter, young man. So just keep hooping, man. Keep hooping. I love it.
Love it. Who's your number 1 star, Jason?
Kyle fucking Shanahan.
You took my bit. I didn't even know because I was gonna say my number 1 star. I don't curse a lot on this podcast, but it's Kyle fucking Shanahan.
Let's cook.
Let's cook. We love him.
Look in the camera. You look right here.
Yeah. Looking.
You out there, Kyle Shanahan hater. Yeah. I saw you float. I wish we had Ken Dorsey. I saw you float fire the coach.
Yeah.
I saw you float ideas of coaches that have never head coached, had any success in this league, and you wanted to get rid of Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
I saw you. I'm the ultimate receipt puller. I'm not going to pull any. You know what I want you to do? I'm disappointed in you. I want you to live with that. You had to sit there and live with that.
Yeah.
You have to sit there and now look at Kyle Shanahan, back-to-back winning seasons, back-to-back playoff berths, winning with a third-string quarterback. What they've built, this roster, this culture. Kyle Shanahan's not going anywhere. Kyle Shanahan hater, look at me right here. This is what I want. Get cozy. Coach isn't going anywhere.
Yep.
You get fried, get cooked. Ken fucking Dorsey, that's who you wanted to replace this man with? The man who is struggling right now with that Buffalo Bills offense? How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare any of you? And I don't want to see any of you now. Oh, I love my coach. Oh, I'm with my coach. No.
There were
You're getting fried.
There were people not 4 days ago complaining about Kyle because of when Deebo Samuel was used against the Buccaneers. Those people weren't saying that yesterday. And I know he's been here longer, 2 more years longer, but he has as many division titles as Harbaugh.
Here's the stat. Here's how we can really look at this. I wrote an article on NinersNation.com. I don't know if you guys understood it.
Yeah.
Okay. I wrote an article and I went through. There's 7 active head coaches who have won Super Bowls. 7. Bill Belichick, Mike Tomlin, Sean McVay, Mike McCarthy. Damn it, I'm missing 2, 3 more. Regardless. Andy Reid. Regardless. When I went through their history, John Harbaugh, I went through their history. So let's look at all of them. Andy Reid won his first Super Bowl 20 years into the league. He still has 2 Super Bowl losses on his resume. And he has multiple NFC Championship games on his resume. Okay. Bill Belichick didn't win his first one until his 7th year.
Yep.
Mike Tomlin has a Super Bowl win, but he lost to Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy will never get back there ever again in his life.
Wait a second. Mike McCarthy has a PFF subscription. Okay, calm down there.
All right. John Harbaugh won a Super Bowl and has never returned.
Yeah.
Everybody wants instant results.
Yep.
Stay down. Follow the process.
Yep.
It doesn't happen quickly. Barry Switzer can win a Super Bowl one year when he pulls up with the Dallas Cowboys and never win again.
Yeah.
Right? That is possible. But everyone swears. And Doug Peterson wins the Super Bowl with the Eagles, fired in 3 years, never going back. Everybody has all of a sudden made this whole Kyle Shanahan thing is you have to win a Super Bowl this year or you know what, fire him. But why is everyone else afforded all of these things? Yeah. And when you look at what Kyle has built, how he's built this team, and all of the people that have won Super Bowls and how hard it is to get back, I don't understand why there's this whole need to get rid of a coach that has put a ton in here for you. Your team is a year in, year out contender. That's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for. And now they start off 2-4, and it's like, get rid of the coach. Get rid of the coach. Get rid of him. Even after last year when he went 3-5 and he took this team to the NFC Championship. Squoze everything that he could out of this quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, with the banged-up arm. Is now on his 3rd quarterback. They have won 7 straight games. Tired of it, man. Tired of it. You got to sit here and look at yourself in the mirror now at this point. You are looking at yourself in the mirror right now, and you got to figure out, do I like Kyle Shanahan? And I would prefer that you said that you don't, because that would make more sense than you, for football reasons, wanted to move on from a coach that has done all this. I had that on my heart for a long time, Andrew. I'm sorry.
I love that. No, I think people really doubted him when they were 3-4 to start this season and just forgot that they were 3-5 last year. If you want to know how good of a job Kyle Shanahan is doing this season, And Mike Tomlin's a very good head coach. I implore you to see what the Steelers look like with their third string quarterback, because I'm pretty confident they're not. Mason Rudolph is not going to look as good as what Brock Purdy looked like yesterday. And Mike Tomlin's a very good head coach, but he's not going to do that. He's not that guy, pal. You know, I mean, just to use that meme again, I guess. Kyle Shanahan is that guy. He should be coach of the year, and I see a lot of people saying it. I have a hard time believing, especially if the Lions make the playoffs, that it's not Dan Campbell's title to lose. And it's okay. I know people will be upset about it because Kyle Shanahan's the Niners guy. The Lions are the Lions. That's just what it is. The Niners, Kyle Shanahan pulling out that play yesterday for the first, like in the first quarter, like you knew he was feeling himself. The double screen reverse thing, you knew he was feeling himself, and that's a first quarter play. That's your first touchdown of the game. I'm running out of words to describe a lot of things on this team. I'm running out of words I can say. And Jason, you said it perfectly. It's time to stop doubting him. The Niners have a top 3, if not a top 1 head coach in the NFL right now. And
he's not going anywhere. Settle in, guys. Settle in. Get cozy. Take this donation over quick, Andrew.
Keith Murphy, thank you for the donation. We're about to be smoking on the NFC West pack, 5-0, about to be 6-0 in the division. I mean, that's pretty impressive within itself. I mean, and Jason Aponte always tells us, like, you never know with division games. You know, the Seahawks can beat the Niners, and the Cardinals could beat the Niners. But this year, it hasn't been the case. They're like plus $1 million in point differential against the NFC West. We talked about it on Wednesday. The plus 8 yesterday doesn't look as impressive as what they've done all season in the NFC West. But once again,
we still got this to take.
Yeah, we still got the start one. We'll get that one, I promise. I saw that, so want to make sure we got that one as well. But yeah, man, they're going to beat the Cardinals. It could be Josh Johnson. I don't care at this point. The Cardinals are in shambles. I think
they're running out the clock right now.
And even if the Niners do lose that game and they finish 5-1, it won't be because the Cardinals beat the Niners, because the Niners were playing for nothing and they ran all the backups. You know, so things like that. D-Well, this is the question I wanted to get back to, because I think this is a great question just to refresh. Do you both remember your 49er season predictions, and are they meeting or exceeding those expectations? I think that's an unfair question, because I said
we thought Trey Lance would be the starter.
Yeah, I said like 10 or 11 wins, which is where I'm sitting, which is where they're sitting at right now.
Yeah, they're going to exceed
but that. They took, like, our predictions were very A to B, right? They took A to F to get to this 10-win season, 11-win season, maybe 12-win season. So yeah, this is about what they expected. This is about what I expected them to be, just not in this way. There's no way I thought this would have been the route.
I was super optimistic about Trey Lance. I thought that as long as this team was healthy, as long as this team had the coaching, that they would win 10, 11 games. This is the perfect argument over process with process over results, right? My process was wrong because Trey Lance wound up getting injured, but the result feels the same. So can you take a victory lap on saying that this team would have won this amount of games when they've gotten to it in a way that nobody could have seen coming? Sure, maybe because you thought that this team was going to be well coached and all these things are true. But process over results is still the argument that will be argued till the end of time. And I think this 49ers season is an exercise in that. If you were the most optimistic 49ers fan and you said that they were going to get to 12 wins, seems like they're going to get there, right? Like, yeah. I think at this point. But you had a different way of this going in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So do you get to take the victory lap because the result is correct? Or do you kind of step back and say, my process was a little bit different when it comes to this? And I think sometimes your process is correct and the result doesn't come out. Yeah. I'm a big process over results guy.
Yes.
I am. Big process over results guy. Because there's variables in there, but I think this 49ers season is the epicenter of this discussion and this argument. So yeah, I completely love this question.
Yeah.
They are at the same amount of wins that I thought they would be, but they are doing it in a fashion that I never would have thought had been possible at all.
Perfect. Keith, thank you for the donation. I saw that one, and it's a great point you made. I don't get into politics too much, but Shanahan has empowered a lot of minorities. Lets me know he cares, or he just cares who can help him win. About to have 3 minorities hired as head coach means, yeah, that's definitely something to mention.
Yeah, and I will say this: Kyle's coaching tree is a fraternity, meaning these guys love each other. They look out for each other. When you join a fraternity in college, not that I went to college or should it matter or whatever, like that doesn't.
Fraternities are cults. What?
Right. No. So when you join a fraternity, it's to build lifelong connections, right?
Yes,
It's
exactly.
to build. It's to when your guy that's there, that is your whatever, your headmaster, whatever it is. I don't know what the shit is called. And he moves on, and he's got a Wall Street job, and you're looking for a job. He puts you on because you're in the same fraternity. In that way, Kyle has done 2 things: built a fraternity of coaches that love each other, but he's built it of great minds. Mike McDaniel and all these guys getting jobs, it doesn't have to do just because they were with Kyle Shanahan. It's because they're completely qualified. And it's the same thing with DeMeco Ryans. So when you look at the way that you're looking at this coaching tree, a lot of it has to do with, yes, they love each other. They're like best friends. They're a close-knit group. But every single one of these gentlemen that have gotten a head coaching job or promoted in any way all deserve it. And I think that's another reason that you should be confident in this team, because what other team can boast losing Robert Saleh, Mike McDaniel, now DeMeco Ryans, and you found a way to just keep on keeping on?
Yeah.
So again, I think it's a little bit of both when it comes to that. But shout out to Keith, man. Thank you for the donation, buddy.
Thank you for the donation very much, man. We really appreciate it. I saw Keith too, and hashtag Jay Greenlaw first team All Pro. Thank you for the donation. Hey, man,
that means you got to knock Fred out of that.
Yeah, you got to knock Fred out of. I mean, both linebackers should be first team.
Man, that'll be fire.
Technically. I don't know, man. This
is a fun ass season.
This is fun, and it's gonna. I don't want to say it's gonna die down a little bit over the next couple weeks because the Niners aren't playing for anything, and also they have a 9-day break, right, or an 8-day break, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, man, but this has been fun. This has been a ton of fun. This episode, this season, the 7-game winning streak obviously makes things a lot easier. This team really feels like it's going somewhere. And I don't know what that means. Obviously, I'm not going to try and predict they're going to go win a Super Bowl. I think that's a very difficult thing to predict. But it's
Madrid loves this comment.
Hendricks, yes, Fangio be coaching defense next year.
And I think if Fangio comes over here, Andrew, we will finally understand what the hell Fangio has been running.
What the hell is Fangio running out there, man? And I see people say they can play for the 2 seed. Yes, they can play for the 2 seed, which is true. They are definitely playing for that. Interesting YouTube photo there, gold blooded, I guess.
Oh wow! I didn't see that.
Yeah, there you go. But yes, they are playing for a 2nd seed. Audio listeners will never understand what I just said there. Tristy Rodriguez, thank you. Josh McDaniels greater than Kyle Shanahan. Thank you for joining, Tristy, though. Appreciate the comment. That's yeah. I know she's memeing too. Like I'm pretty confident that's a meme. I'm pretty confident we're memeing here, but
I have a lot of questions, Tristy.
Please don't yell at her. Please don't yell.
I have a lot of questions, Tristy. First off, how dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you? On such a pro Kyle Shanahan show, it's like you want to take the knife and you want to like twist it.
Yeah.
Like, why? Just why? That's the question I have, is why. That's the second question. No, I won't yell at you. I'm not going to yell at you.
No, we're not going to yell at you. We're not going to yell at you. I'm mainly saying the comment section, too. We have very passionate fans in the comment section.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to yell at you.
Just know that was to get that same reaction out of me, slam my hat down. That's exactly what that was.
Jason, I got a question for you.
Sure.
After dark?
Nah.
No,
I can't. No,
not even a little bit.
We should. No.
Not
We shouldn't. We shouldn't. I'm hungry. 15? I gotta eat, man. It's 9:30. I gotta eat, man. I'm starving.
There are no rules on it. Just eat on after dark.
No, man. I'm not gonna eat a bunch of spaghetti and ground turkey on after dark. That's ridiculous.
I'm Italian though, my guy. Yeah, it's gabagool, you know.
No, we'll do it another day. Maybe we have to figure out this process this next week with what we're gonna do, because there's no game on Sunday. What's going to change for us? So we'll We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if worse comes to worse, we could do Monday and maybe have a guest on. I'm sure there's some people.
Or maybe we'll just do. Maybe what we'll do is we'll do a call-in show for the Spicy Squad. That's why you should be a member of the YouTube channel. You do that.
Interesting.
Andrew Pasquini. Maybe we'll bring on some angry old men that'll yell at you about like not watching the tape.
That's him. Hey, he got a shout out. He got a shout out.
Benjamin Solak said that you need to watch Rich Madrid's tape.
And AD Niner got so angry about it.
Well, I mean, he's an angry little man. It's okay, man. Sorry.
Keith Murphy, thank you for the donation.
Thank you for the donation.
About frats. Shout out to my frat Omega Sci-Fi. I don't know how to pronounce that. I've never learned the Greek. Sci-Fi?
Sci-Fi.
It's a TV channel. Tarvarius, give Greasy some love. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a name we need to talk about a little bit more. And honestly, maybe we shouldn't talk about him because
the only reason I haven't been able to talk about him is because I don't know how to quantify what he's done. But I do know that quarterbacks are taking steps while he's here, so I think it does bear importance.
Well, maybe too we shouldn't talk about him because with the way he's being talked about right now, he feels like the next candidate of the dude who's going to get hired off this coaching staff to be a head coach.
Yes, I did, Vince.
What's
the closer? JP? The closer?
What's JP stand for?
JP Mason. That's it. That's his name. You know that?
Oh. I did not. What did Christian call JP Mason?
He called him Mariano Rivera.
Oh yeah, I was gonna make that reference too. Okay, and people are just stealing my gimmick. It's not my fault. We record a day later. Okay, what am I supposed to do? Everybody else. Keith Fred is also first team. Yeah. I don't know, man. This is an outro at this point.
Yeah.
I'm having fun. I just don't want it to end, really. I'm having such a good time.
I don't want it to end, but I also am very hungry. And I should unwind. Yeah. It's been a long ass day. We've been busting our ass. These Thursday games, I don't like them.
I don't like them.
I don't like them, man.
I gotta write one more article too. So
yeah, exactly. So like, all right, our whole process, real quick. I write on Monday. Twitter reacts. Tuesday, I write the React survey. I write another question article. So now this whole process is thrown off now. We have nothing to write about this weekend because the game's over. And this whole Thursday night thing has thrown a monkey wrench into everything.
I hate Thursday night. Yeah.
Yeah, writing. Yeah, I never wait all day for Thursday night. And writing and stuff. And it's like
2 out of 10.
Now we are finding ourselves with nothing to do this weekend, and now the whole week that we usually prepare for is completely off now at this point.
Because usually like my schedule for writing is I usually don't start writing until Wednesday because I do the more or less previews for Niner games. So when they play on Thursday, it's literally like I finish winners and losers, and my brain instantly had to jump to Thursday, and I didn't like it because I do like taking Monday, Tuesday. I'm ready. If the Niners are on Nickelodeon again, oh my God, we gotta.
And you do not watch that game on Nickelodeon.
Hey, for real though, if the Niners get on Nickelodeon, we all as 49er fans need to get Jimmy Garoppolo as the MVP. I know he won't play, but I need Jimmy Garoppolo to be the MVP more than I need oxygen or water. And also to Christmas Day, Broncos Rams Nickelodeon. What are we doing here? I was a little sad last night too because Amazon Prime didn't have their Dude Perfect stream for the Niner game. I was a little sad about it.
I was not.
I'm really stalling right now, and Jason's like, I'm trying to eat spaghetti.
Can I go eat?
I guess. Yeah, Jason Aponte.
Look, Jason Aponte as always.
I want him. I want him one time just to be like, I'm done with this podcast. Jason Aponte as always, and just says it himself. Ends the stream. We're out. To use football guy lingo, though, Jason Aponte as always.
Let's go Niners. NFC fucking West champions.
Respect Kyle Shanahan. Acknowledge him.
Acknowledge him. Your tribal chief.
Acknowledge your tribal chief. After dark.
No. Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners.